Congressman is literally the only job in the world you can get with so much prestige and so many perks while being a complete doofus with absolutely no skills, knowledge, or qualifications.
That was Bill Maher from Friday talking about the people who decide how much we're taxed, what kind of weapons the military buys, and what kind of health insurance you must buy. Clearly, he doesn't think much of them. A man who knows a lot about what it takes to be in Congress and also succeed in the real world. Former Florida Congressman, ambassador to the Vatican, and legendary American businessman Francis Rooney joining us. All right, Congressman, ambassador, is Maher onto something that what makes you great in the real world makes you a lousy congressman?
Well, I think from a general point of view, he makes a bit of a point. Unfortunately, the system that our founders set up, which required separation of powers to succeed, have a certain level of vigilance and competency and independence among the elected officials, so they could duke it out in the policy wars, if you will. But now we have a system of so much money, so much pressure, so much partisanship that the Congress has been reduced to a less than effective body, I think. It's unfortunate.
One thing that the founders did not put in place that perhaps they didn't think they needed, because being in Congress or serving in government service was such a sacrifice, was term limits, and something it seems that we're never going to get.
I think if the founders came back alive today, they would be astounded at the rise of career politicians in the political class. That was not what they had in mind. They had in mind more the Tacitus rising from the fields of Rome to go serve for a while and go home, not a political class. In fact, we had a revolution against monarchy and entrenched government people. And now we have that. And I introduced a bill when I was in Congress that would cut off the pay of legislators after 12 years. So you did not have to have a constitutional amendment. I got about 20 sponsors for that. But there are hundreds of term limit bills that require a constitutional amendment that are never going to go anywhere, that are only signed on to so that people can go home and tell their districts, oh, hey, I'm for term limits, when in truth and in fact, they all know it's not going to happen.
I just want to be clear in terms of what you're saying, which is that there's a lot of people who run on a term limit platform and say, I support term limits. But when you put forth a bill that would have effectively created term limits by cutting salary after 12 years for somebody who stuck around in Washington for 12 years, you couldn't get anybody to sign up for it.
No. In fact, I had one member come up and say, this would be a disaster. This could actually happen. Now, the other thing,
God forbid people leave. I tried to leave Washington after only 5 or 6 years. You lasted 4.
But people would say, on the contrary, as many entrenched Washington elected officials have, that it will overly empower the staff because the members won't know anything. Well, that kind of goes to Bill Maher's point. We need people to run for office that know something and have a background, that have perspective around the world, that can bring that to bear on the exercise of their duties in Congress. I didn't find being a congressman particularly difficult. I find building huge buildings and hospitals difficult, drilling 2-mile-long horizontal wells difficult, but not being a congressman.
Well, you did it with grace and dignity, sir, for 4 years, and we appreciate you coming back and offering perspective free of the title.
Well, I appreciate being on, and I appreciate what you're trying to do to bring visibility to a real need we have in our country, and that is term limits and something about campaign finance reform. Because what happens is, it seems to me, and this is just my opinion, the money driving the politics makes a very risk-averse elective body. And when you're risk-averse, you won't take any hard stands, whether it's against pharma or whether it's to resolve immigration or any of the things that need to be dealt with in our country right now.
Also, when you don't have any other jobs to go back to and there's not much you're good at in life other than being a politician, makes people risk-averse to take hard stands as well. Former ambassador, appreciate your time, sir, as always. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me on, Leland.
All the best. Coming up, she dedicated her life and gave her life protecting the community. We're going to take an in-depth look at the violence in Chicago and the memory of this police officer who was shot and killed. We'll talk about it on social media at Leland Vitter, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.